I guess to be fair to my service provider, we have had some pretty bad weather lately here where I live. So maybe that's putting some strain on the system. Okay, the YouTube is live again. Great. We might be fine for a little bit. Time to speak to the manager. What is happening? Every time these streams go down, like my little chat thing breaks. Okay, I think the chat's working. All right, let's hope this stays stable. Is it back? It's hard to tell. I've nuked the quality, so unfortunately it's going to be a little less smooth, but better than nothing, I guess. Okay, so I want to do the aim down sight camera zoom thing. So I guess the question is, how do I implement that? I'll implement this zoom factor. Actually, how should I drive this? So where do I use the FOV? Yeah, it's kind of annoying just for like the video replay aspect of this, because now I've had to cut the stream 3 times. So what would have been just one long video replay, it's now going to be 3 broken replays. But I also don't want to upload a slideshow, so maybe this is fine. All right. I'll deal with it. So basically we want, when you zoom in, you want the field of view to narrow, so it looks like you're zooming in slightly. It's kind of the effect I'm going for. So I'm just going to play around with some values that might look good for that. Who owns the camera? Scene. So this should drive that. And that's pretty subtle zoom. So maybe I can make this a little more extreme, like we'll go very extreme just for testing's sake. I should like name the title making Call of Duty in my game engine from scratch. Maybe they'll roll in the views. No libraries, you have to throw that in there. It will have movement. I don't have collisions implemented yet though. So we don't quite have that yet. Trying to figure out why the field of view changed when my mouse was scrolling, but I forgot I left that code in here. Yeah, thanks for stopping by. Take care. Nice, Quebec. Yeah, we've been getting hit with that cold stretch too. I'm in Wisconsin in the United States, so upper Midwest. It's been pretty cold the last few days. Nice. The Midwest. The Midwest is great until January. And then it's like dark and cold. All right. Each weapon should also have its own field of view. Intensity, I guess. Doom. I'm an American. I don't know what Celsius is. I'm just kidding. I know -40 Celsius is -40 Fahrenheit because that's where the two lines intersect between the conversion ratio. 86, yeah. I wish. It's like dead of summer right now down there, isn't it? Or over there, I should say. You know, I always thought it's weird. Well, maybe it's just weird to me because I'm in the northern hemisphere. But like having Christmas in the middle of summer just feels so weird to me. Like is Christmas a summer holiday just like culturally down there? Because like up here in the northern hemisphere, Christmas is associated with snow, you know, and like I don't know. I just don't feel like that works very well if it's like it's hot and, you know, sunny. That's interesting. All right, so I don't know. Let's just have some random values for these guns. And I am going to... What I really should do is just have a structure that has all of the properties that the gun can have. So I don't have like a million tables everywhere I need to maintain. I can just have a single table. So I can do something like... like, I don't know. Weapon info. This should be a struct, not a static. So we have like the position default. -20 is -4. Yeah, it's I don't know how cold it is right now where I am. I don't want to dox myself, so I'm going to open this on a different monitor. Yeah, it's 7 Fahrenheit right now, whatever that is in Celsius. Height to Celsius. It's -13, -13.8 Celsius where I'm at. All right, so we have, what else do we have on these? We have the field of view. I'm not really sure why I'm using double precision for these things, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't need the precision. But that's fine. Needs to be removed. You know, controversial take, but I feel like Fahrenheit is a more intuitive scale for human related measurements. Think about it. You have 100 degrees Fahrenheit, which is hot. You know, 100 degrees is unequivocally hot. 0 degrees is very cold. And like a nice temperature is 50, right? It's like, okay, if you're a human and you measure things from 0 to 100, I understand why Fahrenheit exists. That's my controversial take. It's way too complicated. Yeah, it's been -40 a few times here. Usually with the wind chill. It hasn't been, I don't think it's been -40 without the wind chill, thankfully. So true temp is probably not hasn't been that cold. All right, let me delete a lot of this. I like just having one set of tables to maintain rather than like 50. All right, so let's copy. And we can use this fancy C++ whatever feature to do this little, I think I can do this. So the model is the ACR. Texture is the same thing. That way, everything's packaged together in a nice little table, which eventually I'll read from a file. Oops, I messed that one up. Okay, second question, a follow-up question. What does it mean to be twice as hot, right? Like, arguably measuring things, like temperature isn't really like a thing you can measure twice as, you know? Like, I just don't think it works like that. I mean, obviously it does. Like, obviously 100 degrees is twice as hot as 50. But it's like relative to what? So I guess in the answer for Celsius, it's like it's relative to water. So I don't know. I don't feel too passionately about this. Okay. So we need to change this. Weapon info. Everywhere I use... I guess I could just name my table weapons instead of weapon info, but... Fahrenheit. I mean, okay, the rest of the imperial units though, like feet and inches and gallons and cups and quarts and like all that crazy stuff, I completely agree that it's the metric system is just way better. The worst is cooking recipes where it's like, oh, use a tablespoon of like butter. But like everyone's definition of a tablespoon is different because it's all like, I don't know. It's just like never feels precise. But I like precision. I agree. All right. It's a little weird how the gun jumps around when you switch between them. Yeah, and like the relationship between the gram and like the milliliter and what is it, like the degrees Celsius is like so much more, I don't know, elegant. Like 1 gram of water is equal to 1 milliliter of water, which is equal to like 1 centimeter cubed of water or something like that, right? And then it's like 1 degree Celsius heats up like one, I forget what the exact thing is. It's like 1 degree Celsius is how much, like 1 joule of energy it takes to like heat up like a liter of water or something. True. New Warfare. I'm back at it with the Call of Duty clone. In my own game engine, C++. No libraries. Let's change the map. I should get shooting implemented. Add player collision. I need to do that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the model for the arm is stolen straight from Counter-Strike. I don't remember where the weapon models came from, but they're pretty ancient. I think really the only human understandable one from the Imperial system is temperature. Because like, what is a foot, you know? Did you make the weapon models? That's actually insane. I think they literally were made on Windows XP. I kind of love the models though, because they're like, the low polygon is kind of a vibe, you know? Maybe the levels could use some updating though. These levels look pretty bad. Man, the YouTube stream looks so rough. It's like a slideshow compared to the smooth frame rate I had it at before. Okay, what's next? So we need some knockback. Yeah, I've been having internet problems tonight. I was originally streaming in 1440p at 60 frames a second because I pay for the bandwidth to be able to do that. But then they kept throttling my upload speed. So I had to like restart the stream 3 times. I lost half my viewers. It's amateur hour over here. We need some knockback. I think I would. Depends on the company though. Right? Maybe. Yeah, it depends on the company. It would have to be an interesting like project. I don't think I would just blindly work in games again. All right, so we need knockback. What should knockback do to the gun? If I grew my hair out and dyed it black. I haven't seen Stranger Things, so I actually don't know what you're referencing. Okay, let's get some more guns in here. I have more than just these models. Let's get the other guns in here. I guess this isn't super productive of an evening. But we can get some extra model files. Where are they? Here, let's get the RPG in here. This one's an essential. Need the RPG, of course. And this thing needs a texture file. Yeah, it's definitely a skill that you have to learn. Like, part of the battle with working in the big companies like that is definitely just like navigating the code base. And just understanding code. Look at this texture file. This is the most based texture file I've ever seen. So yeah, it's like a skill to be able to like jump into someone else's code and not, not ruin it. I think over time though, like at least in my experience, you kind of just like recognize the same set of patterns everywhere. And like if you code in a responsible way, it's like your code should be self-documenting and that like it's easy to understand by just kind of reading what it does. And that's like what code reviews are for as well. So at least where I used to work, before we submitted code, it had to be reviewed by other engineers on the team. And one of the criteria was like writing code that's, you know, easily reviewable and maintainable. So if you have multiple people with different opinions coming in and reviewing the code, generally you could you like generally a lot of those problems would kind of just be solved just by that process, if that makes sense. But I can imagine in companies where they don't have those sort of procedures, it becomes more of a chaotic free-for-all. Did you mean to say, do you know some recur? Oh, do I know resources? Sorry, I read that wrong. For some reason, I read resources as recursion. I actually don't have many good resources on that. Because I like the code gen stuff. I learned on the job actually, because that's what the engine that I worked at the company did for a lot of its stuff, and that's when I kind of like fully realized the potential of code gen, because I kept seeing these generated header files and stuff. And I'm like, what is this? And I was like, wait a minute, this is actually like really powerful, because you can like generate a bunch of boilerplate code and kind of treat it as its own system. Why didn't the gun change? I do have some like advice though. Oh, why is this gun sideways? My RPG is sideways. My advice though with the code gen is you should try to generate data more so than actual like logical code. So like your code gen should really be focused on either like defining a bunch of data that other parts of your code that aren't generated can just read from, or at least supply like boilerplate code that doesn't have I don't even know how to describe it. Like for example, with the shaders. So one of the things that you have to deal with in graphics with shaders is like the binding layouts for like your vertex formats, for example. So like say you specify a vertex format that has like a position, a normal, a texture coordinate, and you have, you know, that's like your struct that represents your vertex. Like the APIs require you to basically tell the API, you know, how to actually interpret the data that you give it, so it like aligns with, you know, these vectors are position, this one's normal. So I generate the code to do that in my backend here. Where is it? Somewhere in here. Like here we go. I do it for uniforms. But basically I generate these tables that contain that information. Doesn't hold a candle to Almond Engine. Yeah, so anyway, long story short is I generate the tables that contain those vertex layout information, but I don't generate the code that actually does, you know, the binding of those, because that lives in like my engine code. Yeah, I don't know if that made any sense, but try to keep your code gen as minimal, like as data driven as possible, I guess, is a good strategy. All right, let me rotate the RPG model, because I don't know why it's rotated in some wacky orientation. I guess the question is, what orientation should this be? Should it be my engine Z up? So I guess, yeah, that answers my question. So what is Z up? So Z up is this way. Oops. My engine's Z up, and then positive Y is to the right. And then X is forward. Okay, yeah, this should be correct. It's weird because Blender's different, so it like looks inverted from what I'm expecting. Yeah, Z up is actually based. I forgot to triangulate these. All right. Yeah, some people are like weirdly... Wait, what is happening? Am I not rendering my model Z up? What? Is this wrong? Do I have my import code busted? My engine is certainly Z up. Here, let me draw my little gizmo. This is a good little thing I can do. I can draw my gizmo onto the view here. This needs to be separate. Diligent engine? I actually don't know what that is. Why didn't my gizmo draw? That's the next big question of the hour. Oh, this should be the camera's forward vector. All right. Where's my gizmo? I shouldn't call it a gizmo. Where's my little axis? Axes. Interesting. Oh, divided by 2. There it is. Well, positive Z is definitely up. So why would Blender be shifting my model? Let's see. All right. So we need to put that. Why is it so difficult to just export a model in like a specific orientation? So what was this set to as the default? I don't even remember. Is there a preset? All right. I mean, I can fix it. I just don't want it to be broken at all. Like the correct orientation, I guess, is this one, where Z is negative. I just don't know why that's happening. That's unintuitive to me. It makes me think I'm doing something wrong somewhere else. But here we go. We have a nice little RPG. Stick with Roblox and make actual money. You know, he has a point, actually. Excuse me. Okay, I need to know if I open this up in Model Creator. This is the classic. Those who know, they know. If I load this in Model Creator, which has a sane XYZ coordinate system, handedness. Oh my gosh. I have all these nested directories. What orientation is this actually? So positive y's to the right. So this is, I think I'm importing the models incorrectly. Or rendering them incorrectly, which is super bizarre. It's actually really concerning. Because look, okay, so basically this green line is my y-axis in the positive direction, right? So you can see that the body of the RPG is on the right side, so that is in the positive y direction. And like vertically, we're going in z, right? Because the blue line is z, the z-axis. However, in this tool, if I go into the 3D view, make this a little bigger, we can see that the positive y direction is over here, so going to the right. And the arm is on this side. And the gun is tilted such that it's negative y is the up axis. Is that consistent with Blender? No, Blender has negative z as its up axis. Look, because like the sights are below z, so negative z is going down. But then my engine has positive z going up with the sights. This is all like, what is happening? I guess it's ultimately up to the tool to determine how, like, if you have an object file, because if we actually load this thing as a text file, what the object file actually is, I think I know what's happening. It's just like, it's just weird. Where's the assets? So like if you load the object file for this, right, you have these vertex fields, and then you have like a position 1, position 2, position 3. I don't know if it's reading these in like out of order, right? Like my intuition is that this is X, this is Y, this is Z, but it could be that it's actually exporting it in a different order for some reason, because Blender gives you this option on export, right? Where you can specify that like the forward axis is negative Z, and then y-axis is positive y, which is actually different from the reality of the situation right here, because in the viewport here, we can clearly see that my positive axis is positive z, right? Because it's like at the top here. And my camera, you know, that's my up vector, is that. Oh, that's so interesting. It's so annoying, actually. So if I export this from... Oh, I guess I can't export it from here. I want to understand... Let me do a sanity check, though, quickly, just to, like, ensure that it's not... Well, actually, how can I do a sanity check? I guess I can, like, live with it for now. But that's frustrating. I just want my model format to be intuitive based on, you know, what I'm actually seeing when I load these things in. Yeah, I'll do a model with the... yeah. Arc Raiders. Let me get some more of these guns in, though, first. I think I'm going to have to do this fix to all of them now, though, which is unfortunate. So we have the FAMAS as well. Let's look at that in here. And I'll have to fix this one. Yeah, I might be lagging. I had to set my stream settings down pretty bad, pretty low, because I was having some internet problems intermittently throughout the evening. So unfortunately the stream quality had to go down. Just you, big dog. Nice. Well, at least Twitch is working. Okay. Let's get the FAMAS. Oh, see, this one loaded mostly fine. I'm not sure what's going on with the arm, but the gun looks mostly fine. The position's off, but it's like the orientation is correct. This model actually looks horrible. I think the texture is busted. I mean, all the models look pretty bad, but... Yeah, I was streaming in 60 frames a second earlier this evening, and then my internet basically died. So I had to drop it down to to 30 FPS. Let's get the AUG in here as well. Yeah, in Model Creator, that's respect. I remember I made that whole map in Model Creator of my neighborhood. That was a grind. Yeah, this is Half-Life 3. I'm also working on Terraria 2 as well. Let me boot up Terraria 2. So we have Half-Life 3 and Terraria 2 in development here. Exclusive to my live stream channel. I gotta come in and throw the water around every now and then. All right, back to the other project. Okay, let's see. Did the AUG load? I need to get the definition. We need a sniper rifle as well. Do you have the file for that map? Because I lost the files for it. No, I think Terraria existed at that point. I made a different game, Bloxed, and that one I had done before Terraria. So technically I came first. What's happening here? Technically speaking, they copied me. No, I spelled AUG incorrectly. Here we go. This gun looks crazy. Look at this scope on this thing. Just use AI. You can make GTA in a week. Yeah, they'll make GTA 7 with AI. All right, this is a good little lineup of weapons here. We got the M16, the ACR with crazy aim down sight. We have the AUG. What else? The FAMAS. Counter-Strike 3. Counter-Strike 3 but with ADS, aim down sight. Oh, let's not forget it multiplayer is also functional. Let's get the multiplayer in here. So get the little server going. Get 2 clients connected. Can't forget to demonstrate multiplayer. Here, we'll get a little character loaded in here. That'll be my next objective. All right, let's get the character in. Ouch, my eyes. I have these really old model files from a project that's like 15 years old, so I'm using those. It does use OpenGL. Well, I have multiple graphics backends implemented, so I'm using DirectX right now, but I have OpenGL working fully as an alternative. Okay, so I have these character models. We want the stand model. SOCOM, yeah, I used to play that game on the PS2. All right, so we need to convert this model. Oh, I already have it as an OBJ. Sick. All right, I didn't know I had the OBJ for this. Do I have the texture though? That's the next question. No libraries with an asterisk. Come on. Obviously, I have to use the graphics APIs to talk to the graphics card. And you know, I also use the system supplied libraries for creating the window and playing sound and like listening to keyboard events and stuff. No compilers allowed. I need to write the assembly myself. No operating systems allowed either. No libraries just means I'm not using like... so anyone in here who's not familiar with like C and C++ game engines, there's a few common, I guess, frameworks / libraries that people use. And the most common one is SDL, which does a lot of stuff. You know, it handles windowing and graphics abstraction and stuff. So I'm not using SDL. So basically what that means is I had to implement all the windowing code and the audio code, and like input handling and all networking and threading. All that code had to be implemented, I guess, from scratch, you could say. In that, I interact directly with the operating system and like the header files that the operating system supply to do those things. So that's what no libraries means. It makes a good title, so sometimes we have to clickbait a little bit. I mean, it's technically not clickbait, but it is also. And the entire source of the engine is in the description. Oh, let me check my DMs. Oh, nice. Okay, cool. I'll download that map. Linux already works. Linux is fully supported natively, using X11 for the window and events. And so is Mac OS. Mac OS is fully supported too, natively. I'm just on Windows right now because that's where I'm streaming from. It's my Windows PC. And the full description is in the, or the full source is in the description of the video here. So if you want to download it yourself and try it, you can go ahead and do that. And if it doesn't compile, please let me know because it's good to know that stuff. Okay, I'm getting like sidetracked. I need to find the texture for this file. Do I have the textures in here? Of course I don't. Why would I? But I do have it here. Here, let me read the chat. When you make games for your engine, do you have an editor or is it all made through files? It's all made through files. So for example, I'm currently, so this is the game I'm working on right now. Is this little, I guess, I don't know what kind of game you call this. Counter-Strike. So like you can see, I'm programming all of it just through VS Code here. And this is like how I add model files and textures. Is I just like add them to the assets directory of this project. But I have other games in the engine that I'm working on at the same time. So I have this Terraria clone. So this is a separate project. So this is like my Terraria clone thing that I'm working on, which is actually a larger project. But I don't have an editor for the engine. So like it's not like Unreal where you have an editor. So it's all just code. But I have a VS Code plugin here at the bottom, which kind of drives my engine. Or it drives basically it drives a command that I send to the command, like the terminal, which then bootstraps the engine. And there's like other projects in here as well. So like I have a little globe demo. I need to recompile. I have some build stuff that it depends on. So here's like a globe project, just a little Earth renderer with clouds and stuff. Excuse me. And then, yeah, it does have shaders. But like everything's just driven by the code. So like for the globe demo, the shaders are here in this little folder on the left side. I can make this a bit bigger maybe. So like here are the shaders that drive, that this shader is like what does the atmosphere for the globe. So this is like doing some noise sampling for the clouds and like the aurora, the northern lights. And then on the left side here, or the right side rather, let me make this less verbose. When I kick off a build, so like if I clean here and then I click run, you can see on the left that it like does a bunch of stuff here. So like it like gathers assets and like checks cache and then does some building stuff. So this is like the bulk of the engine actually is this build system. So this is like responsible for dealing with all the asset files. So all the textures, all the sounds, all the models and stuff. But it also deals with shaders and then the object system that the engine uses. So it does a bunch of work and then it compiles the actual executable. But yeah, all of these assets and stuff are just like in the project directory, and it scans the directory when you click build. And it like caches work. So like if I go in here and I touch a shader, like if I change the shader to be like make the globe red, for instance, and then I press build and run again. This didn't work because the globe was currently running. My bad. Assuming that ran because the globe wasn't running. You can see like it only rebuilt the shaders because that's the only thing that changed between builds. So there's like a whole caching system that's built into this as well, which is honestly the bulk of the engine is like the build pipeline. But the cool thing is I can jump between projects really quickly, and they compile really fast. And for fun, I'm making a little first-person shooter game. And the and the graphics look really bad because it's just like low polygon stuff. Okay, but I want the character to draw, so I'm working on the character at the moment. For you, just take straight up GSL and then have comments at the top. Do I have a converter from HLSL or for HLSL? Yeah, that's a whole other thing I can talk about, actually. Yeah, because my engine is cross API for like graphics. So like I was just running DirectX, but I can recompile this to run with OpenGL instead. So now we're running OpenGL for graphics. But in my engine, one of the things I prioritized was making it not a pain in the ass to work with shader files. So yeah, so one of the problems with DirectX and OpenGL is they use a different shader language. So DirectX uses HLSL and OpenGL uses GLSL. So I didn't want to have to deal with multiple shader languages in my like game code. So let me find a shader here as an example. So basically what I have is my own shader language. So this is my shader for the project I'm currently working on, like right now. And this is my own shader language. And my files have the file extension .shader, which is what my build tool searches for when it's processing shaders. And basically what it does is at build time, over here on the right, when it's doing a bunch of stuff, it will parse this file and basically translate it to GLSL, HLSL, or Metal on Mac, depending on the graphics API that's like currently being compiled. So this is like my raw, shader code that I would edit and write. But if I go over to the generated code from the build tool, we can find that this is what the generated GLSL code looks like from that file. And if I switch over to DirectX and I just recompile, we'll see that this file changes. So if I click this, yeah, this is the generated HLSL code now. So yeah, it does deal with translating the shader files. And there's more to the system as well. It's actually pretty complicated. But with the shader system, I can also specify all the vertex formats and like the buffers just directly in the shader code. And then all the CPU side, C++, like binding information and structs get generated from this. So it's kind of like an integrated system with the engine. Yeah, and that's an interesting point too, because that's something I had to think about with this. And there's two ways you can solve that. So I guess the ideal way you would solve it is you could write your own, it's called a language server, which is basically this like file that IntelliSense uses, like your syntax highlighter uses, to basically just know what the grammar of the language is in order for it to like highlight the correct, symbols. So that's called a language server. I didn't want to have to write one of those because it's just another thing I have to deal with and maintain. So I was careful to make my shader language basically fully compatible with a C++ language server, such that I get correct syntax highlighting just by interpreting this file as a C++ file. And some of that's possible due to these little macros I use. And I have like this header file, which basically defines these macros. Now the macros don't actually do anything. It's purely for the syntax highlighting in like the IntelliSense. Yeah, yeah, render passes are also another interesting thing. Man, it's getting cold in here, actually. I need to turn the heat on. I'm like starting to shiver. I'm like right by the window. It's cold outside. But yeah, so it's a interesting system. Yeah, and forward rendering. Yeah, right now I'm just doing forward rendering. And forward rendering is pretty simple. It's like pretty much you straight up just write to the frame buffer from your shader. Whereas like deferred rendering is in the name. It's deferred. And what does deferred mean? It means like you're doing some of the work now, but you're going to do more of the work later. Like you're deferring the work to a future point. So a deferred render pipeline is like a two-pass pipeline, which I'm not doing right now, but I will be doing soon. Is the plan. Okay. Anyway, player model. Let me get these player models loaded. Okay. Let me see. Okay, so here's a good example actually for my renderer. So you see these like GFX vertex, : vertex forward. So this struct, this is just a struct. If I go to this is actually in my generated graphics header file. So this struct directly comes from my shader code. So like what this is actually like defined as comes from my shader code. So if I want to like have a new vertex format, I just can create a shader which has a different vertex input struct. Like say I want this to be packed a different way, or say maybe I want like my vertex format to have a color property, right? Like color packed as uint8, and I recompile this. This should, well, it won't succeed because my code is incomplete, but I can go to my header file. Where is it? Oh, I'm not using it, so it's getting optimized out, of course. I have code optimization on. So it's getting optimized out. Maybe I'll just add the color to this as a demonstration instead. I'll recompile. See, now this thing has a color field and it's packed as a uint, like a uint 8. And all of this code is maintained for you. And all the boilerplate for all the graphics backends is automatically maintained for you just through the build pipeline, driven purely from the shader files. So that's kind of a nice feature that makes graphics programming stuff like really easy in this engine. But let me fix this import or this compile error. So vertex. And then we'll load this thing in. I'll steal the code from the gun because it's very similar. And then, where do I draw the players? I need to zoom out. Can't see what's happening. All right, so this should be shader forward. And then so in theory, I need the multi-launcher. In theory, I should have little character guys loaded in here. Oh no, they're at the wrong orientation as well. Look at this low polygon character. This thing's a classic. Let me fix the orientation of the character. Well, let me get this loaded first. Okay, so which way is he incorrect? So he's rotated the wrong direction, and what else? So he needs to be like rotated along his up axis 90 degrees, and then also like tilted upwards. So I'll just trial and error this until it works. So open the file. Actually, I can figure this out. Okay. How does this guy orient himself? So his right foot is currently facing positive Z. So if we rotate him, I guess, oh, his right foot is his left foot in Blender, so that's confusing. So I think we need to rotate him this way. And then potentially this way, maybe. Oh, how's it going? Welcome back. Check out these sick models. They're not loading correctly though. But we're making some progress. I think the orientation's still gonna be wrong. Oh no, now he's upside down. Oh wait, you can't see it, it's on my other screen. Check this out. Oh man, it's so annoying with these big screens. It wants to work. All right. So he was rotated the wrong direction, but he was facing the right way, I think. So I just need to flip him around like this. Let's try this one. I have some annoying... Yeah, they are. I ripped all the original assets. They're probably going to be placeholders for now, because I'm not going to make a one-to-one clone, I don't think. But it's kind of funny. Here we go, here we go. Let me get the other guy loaded in. Yeah, now we're talking. Yeah, I will add lights. So my idea with this is I'm going to build it up from like a basic renderer into something that's more, I guess, just complicated, sophisticated. So like right now I'm loading just basic models with like, you know, single texture, no moving pieces. Yeah. I think the low poly look is kind of nice. But like if I could do the animations and stuff and maybe some stylized lighting or something just to make the levels more interesting, that could be fun. It's like a spiritual successor to what the original Global Anarchy was versus like a direct clone. Okay, let me send the player rotations now. And I can set the scale back to something sane. So we need some rotation. And actually, let's see. So right now I'm just sending like, where's the hash map for this guy? Yeah, so this is like a hash map. This should be something else. Or I guess it should just be this player state thing. Let's see. We should be sending these instead. I guess I do want to send the forward vector, but I also want to send just like direction and pitch as well. And then where do I send this? I forgot my music turned off. Let me fix my music. I'm just sitting here in the quiet. Okay. All right, so I'll need to, I guess you rotate along the z-axis for direction. Does this take radians or degrees? Actually, I probably shouldn't use degrees for this. I'll do it for now, though. I just made it for fun, really, when I started. Um, it's kind of grown a bit bigger than I expected when I started it. But I'm just kind of having fun making it. Let's make sure all of these are accounted for. So where do I actually send these? Yeah, nice. Yeah, I guess, yeah, it did kind of start as a learning project for me as well. Well, the no libraries, like, constraint, it was more just like a learning thing. How can I get the direction vector from a forward vector? I guess yaw is, do I already calculate that? That's actually really convenient. Maybe I should name this pitch and yaw, actually. Pitch. Okay, I think that should be everything I need for that. I need a better way of testing the multiplayer. Yeah, here we go. Now when I rotate around, you can see the guy spinning on the right side there. This is the most basic player networking code possible. I need to get the gun to render in as well. Otherwise you don't know what gun you're using, what gun he's using. I think one of the problems though is that the use a few libraries. Yeah, nice. Yeah, IMGUI is a good library. Definitely convenient for all the UI stuff and debug layers. Okay, so one problem is that the position is actually the is actually at the feet, which doesn't make a lot of sense. So like my eye position, you can see his feet are on the ground, but on the right screen, his eye is like at the ground level. So you see out of your feet currently. The cool thing is I can spectate with the server. This is like that that Spider-Man meme where they're pointing at each other. I need collision detection. Should really be the next thing I look at. Because then I can do the raycast for the bullets and then get some gameplay. So yeah, I'm going to actually do that. So I need a basic little hitbox for the character. Well, actually the character is so simple, maybe I can just use its mesh as the hitbox. Those iron sights. Classic. These aren't even the original, like, Global Anarchy 1 weapons. I think these are like the Gatto. The denied operations models. All right. Well, actually, no, those had different models. Maybe this is the GA3 models. All right, let me think. I want to do some hit detection. Yeah, it's one of those. Okay, hit detection. Let's do some hit detection. Yeah. Was 3 ever released? Was it just GA1 and Gatto? I think that's what that was. Cause I know Andrew made a game too at one point, but I think he called it First Recon. I don't remember now. It's been so long. Okay, hit detection. We need. I should probably move a lot of this code out of the scene file, but who cares right now? What do I need for hit detection? I need to look at my code for this. I have some code that can do ray casting against arbitrary models. I just need to remember how it works. So ray intersect triangle list. So I can just send it a list of triangles. Oh, I guess the tricky thing about this is it doesn't account for the offset. Oh, that's gonna be interesting. Yeah. That sounds right. I guess it wouldn't be hard to add offsets to these functions. Like I have all these functions for like ray intersect, you know, things. But these assume like static models, so I can't like rotate and offset them. So how could I do that? I guess I can offset the ray position, maybe. Or I can just offset the model itself. Man, maybe I should just use a library for the collision stuff. Collisions are like the least interesting thing. Collisions in physics. That's where I might draw the line, is using a library for those. I'll use like Jolt or something, I think, is the big one people use nowadays. Because I just can't be asked. What's an easy way I can get this to work? I feel lazy right now. I could rotate the ray position and then assume that the model is in fixed space. So what would you do? You take the... It's kind of an interesting problem. Yeah, let's do some code here. Let's write some code. It's like I need to rebase my coordinate system. I wish I had the interest for collisions like I do for the other stuff, but I just simply don't. Okay, let's create a static list of float threes. I'm gonna call this character vertex buffer. Oh yeah. Let's call it hitbox vertices. And when I load the character in, I'll also populate the mesh with these. Oh, this is gonna get ugly really fast. Because I load the model in as just like raw binary data, so now I actually need to interpret this, which isn't too bad. So I'm actually extracting the positions from the vertex data. This is funny. All right, so I'm gonna need to reinterpret cast this. Classic reinterpret cast. And then I will need to dereference, so we get a copy. And then this is this plus I times size of the vertex format. Yeah, so that's where that specific vertex in the binary memory. Yeah, we'll just assume that will work. And then, let's see. Yeah, we'll just populate this list with those guys. Let's do this. And then for sanity, I'm just going to check that this actually works by rendering a bunch of stuff. Let me make a little lambda. Yeah, I do have a Mac. I actually really like Mac. It's controversial in the game developer programmer space, but I actually really love my MacBook. It's probably like my favorite laptop I've ever owned. Which is weird to say. Oh. Thank you for the likes. You guys don't have to like bomb. Yeah. I have one of the M3 MacBook Pros. I used to have a MacBook Air, and then I upgraded to the MacBook Pro. And it's actually like so fast. For some things, it's actually faster than my main desktop PC. Like some of the simulation stuff in the other project I have, like it actually runs faster on the MacBook, which is just crazy to me because like I have like a pretty decent like CPU in this thing as well. So it's like, I don't know what's how they got it to run so fast. All right, so I want to just draw these little collision dots just to like sanity check that this actually works. Oh my gosh, my cat is like jumping up on my desk here. I should really wrap this in a lambda. All right. Two years. Wow. You know, I still like Windows for my main desktop setup though. I don't know what it is with my Mac. Okay, this is my one gripe. Maybe maybe you know why this is. What is happening? Oh my gosh. Cat's like jumping into boxes and stuff. So my one gripe with Mac is I think the answer is that you need to basically have their monitors to make it look good. But when I hook up my MacBook to my monitors, it just doesn't look very good. Like it's like not very sharp. Like the text, like, it's like the text has like weird aliasing, and like the colors are slightly off. And I think it's like the weird Retina scaling thing that Mac does. And I've tried to like figure out how to stop it from doing that. But like I don't have this problem with Windows or Linux. Like everything just looks crisp when I use those. And it's not, and I thought maybe it's like a cable thing. Like maybe I'm not getting the bandwidth out of the USB-C cables. So I bought like high quality USB-C to DisplayPort cables so I can hook it up to my monitor. And that didn't fix it. So I don't know. But it like bugs me enough where I don't like using it on my main setup. Yeah. It might be fixable. I need to poke around at it some more maybe. It's been a while since I've tried. But that's my only so it's one of the main reasons I don't use it at my main setup. Yeah, maybe that's what's happening. It might be the color space thing too. All right, so draw vertex. Okay. I don't need to set this back in the lambda, I don't think. Set it back there though. Okay. Is that what I want? Day 2. Oh, is that true? Yeah, because I know you do need like a certain bandwidth cable to like just get the pure bandwidth for 1440 hertz. But yeah, maybe that is right. Like not all of the USB-C ports on the Mac are like, I forget what version USB-C it is that supports the high bandwidth data transfer. That makes sense. All right, what is that? What do I call this thing? Draw dot. I'm calling them points, positions, dots. All right, so we have the player dot key value dot. This is some really crazy debug code. Will this work first try? Probably not. But can it work first try in theory? Maybe. Let's see. Did I make any dumb mistakes? I don't think so, actually. Let's give it a shot. I'm not accounting for rotation. That'll be a dumb mistake. But if I don't move the camera... I didn't mean to do that. Oh, I moved the camera. Okay. Here we go. We have a problem. We have a problem. Oh, this is actually insightful. This is very insightful. This might have answered some of my questions I had earlier. So all of these dots are my vertice points that I was trying to load from the file or from the buffer directly. Oh, that's actually very interesting. What does this tell me? This tells me that I'm messing up my rotation matrices. In here, actually. Or in the, where do I draw these players? Here. I'm messing these up. Hey, thanks for stopping by. See you later. Hopefully you can stop by again. Oh, the game goes good. It's going well. I have an issue with how I'm rendering my rotations. I guess question number 1, why am I calling this rotation Y if I'm rotating over the X-axis? That's like the first big question of the hour. All right, we're getting somewhere. Getting somewhere. Whoa. Okay, so I need to make these windows smaller, maybe. I won't even resize anymore. Okay, whatever. All right, I need to actually use my brain here for a second. Let's simplify this. If I only ever rotate on the Z-axis, I can simplify a lot of this. So like, I can just delete this. Like, I don't need to be rotating along Y at all. So my characters aren't going to pitch up and down. Oops. How come I can't snap my windows anymore? See, you see, Windows does dumb stuff like this too, where I can't snap to the left. I guess I can do this. All right, so then maybe this rotation that I was confused about in Blender will actually make sense now. So, because my game uses Z up as its like up vector, and I have plus X as my forward vector. So I just need to align this with Z up, which is still incorrect though. Because if I just rotate this around to have Z be up, that's not going to make my guy pitch forward. So which way is he wrong? So currently he's like just looking the incorrect way. So if we want this to be correct, how do we need to rotate him? To rotate him this way, I believe. Okay, it's probably tough to see, but all these little dots are all the vertex positions, and that would actually make sense. So then the trick is I, when I hit that, like when I cast array to hit detect off of this like mesh, I'm doing this on the CPU, so I don't want to like if I rotate the character here, so like if I rotate him, all the points mess up, but like all the vertices would be rotated, right? But because it's a static just array of vertex positions, I don't want to like rotate every vertex every time I like want to do a ray cast against a character. So instead, I should be rotating my ray vector to be like relative, you know, to the coordinate system of, you know, the player, the character. So how do I jump between those coordinate systems is the question of the hour. Let's draw some stuff. I'll delete this and that as well to simplify. So what does this function take in? Where was it? Yeah, so what I want is this ray intersect triangle list thing. And I guess the ideal version of this function is that I just give it a basically a transformation matrix as one of these input parameters, and it will do this math automatically. So that's a fun idea. So what's array? Array is an origin and a vector. And the vector is like a direction. Times like these are where I wish I was a bit stronger at my linear algebra. So let's see. Let's just do the float version of this first. So we need like a matrix. Oops, this is up here. So then we also want to calculate the inverse of this to undo it at the end. I'm trying to think of how to do this. Let's think. So we have a local array. So we'll need to calculate this. So we're basically doing like a world space to local coordinate system transformation. Which I guess is the inverse of the matrix that we give in. Because like when you render something, you go from local space to world space. But we're doing the opposite of that. So I guess logically you would take the array dot origin. I guess you would multiply this by the inverse. Let's see. What function do I have for this? It gets a little annoying with the rotational component because I need to like extract this from the matrix. Because if I just do this multiply with the vector, I get the translation with it as well. And I don't want the translation. I just want the rotation component of this. I could supply them separately, I suppose, as like two separate parameters. You know, I'll do that. I'll do that first. Or maybe not. I know this certainly won't work, but let's get the rest of this written in. So that will rotate against the local coordinate, and then the hit, we need to mutate this. Because the distance and stuff is going to be completely wrong. At least the distance is going to be wrong. Well, unless there's no scaling, the distance might be fine. Maybe I should just do raycast against a axis aligned bounding box. It'd be so much easier. But I want those pixel perfect collisions. Sorry, 1 second. Responding to someone. Yeah. Okay, so actually, okay, I think I'm on the right track. So my problem is my multiply function actually assumes that these things are float threes, and it assumes that the W component was 1, so I would be gaining the translation portions of these as well. But this should actually be like something like this. For so like for the this is mathy. But for the origin, which is a point in space, we want to preserve the rotation, the translation, and the scaling, and I guess the skew. But for the vector, which is a direction, we don't want to translate. We just want to rotate. And the way you do that is by using that W component of the 4-component vector. Otherwise, you'd have to like manually extract just the rotation component of your matrix, which isn't ideal. So then we can test with that vector, and I think we'll get like an answer from just this function now. So I think I can test this. And if I haven't completely messed this up, I think it should work. But I'll need to change the distance that this thing returns, because it's going to return a distance in local coordinate space. So we need to translate the distance back to be, I guess, the coordinate space of, you know, the ray that you cast outside the function. So I will do that. Let's test this code though first. I'll do a simple test by just wherever I render these things, I'll print a message if we've hit the player or not. Because I have the matrix for this right here. And I have it in a double matrix, unfortunately. So maybe I should change my function to be the double variant of this. Okay, but if... what is the return of this value? I guess I can just, yeah, return. It's a Boolean, so I can just print it directly. So we give it the ray, we give it the list of vertices, which is this guy. We give it the count of vertices, and then we give it an optional, or we need to give it the matrix. And a I'll be kind of surprised if this works on the first try. Okay, the tricky part is actually determining which terminal is for which window. Okay, not a great sign. Interesting. Interesting indeed. Do I hit anywhere, I guess, is the next question. Like if I fly to coordinate 0, 0, wherever that is. And I like throw my camera around. No, I don't hit anywhere. Interesting. I'm sure Rust is fine for a game engine. There's lots of people doing it, so I'm sure you'd be fine using Rust. It's a low-level language, so you got most of the performance benefits you would want from that. All right, so this is revealing. Okay, so yeah, okay. I'm looking at the numbers on the left here. So the left are like my translated positions, which do match kind of what I expect them to be, more or less. Well, maybe not. I guess this is relative to the so if I get like right in this guy's face, I mean they look relative to the model, which is what I want. It's just the vector is completely busted, which would make sense because I'm not passing it in. Here we go. I feel more confident about this one working. Does it work? No, it's still not a number. What? Infinite. I've been working on this for about 2 years. It's tough to say exactly because some of this code is older than that. And also, I don't work full-time on this. So it's kind of just like whenever I have time to work and I'm feeling motivated. I'm surprised that didn't work. It's pretty bizarre. I'm working on, in case you just joined, I'm working on ray casting against arbitrarily like rotated and translated models. And basically I shouldn't be seeing infinity for these 3 on the right, which makes me think something weird's happening. So let me just verify I'm actually inputting reasonable data to this. There's multiple things that could be going wrong. Yeah, so I give it the origin and the vector, which looks correct. I guess I'll normalize this just in case that matters. I don't think it does. I shouldn't have to normalize. Let me just print out the original, just to verify that I'm getting at least something reasonable passed into this. Yeah, okay, so those are reasonable. Is it trying to divide by 0, perhaps? So like it shouldn't actually be doing a divide by 0. I think that's what's happening. Oh god, what is this macro? Yeah, I think this is the problem. Or maybe not. What is R3? This is unfortunate. Yeah, so this is just wrong. I have like a bug in my I don't want to branch here, but I'm going to. Or I can simplify this a little bit. So at least I'm not doing a multiply. Something like this, perhaps. There we go. That's looking better. So I'm getting some ray intersection stuff here. Nice. That's what I want to see. See, as soon as I mouse over, I'm looking at the left here in this terminal. Now, the real test is if I rotate the little guy here. Then what happens? Does it still work? Yeah, there we go. The unfortunate part is that this is a branch. So I don't really want to be branching here if I could avoid it. But that's fine for now. Let me just do this everywhere else too. I can remove this stuff. What else can I do? What is this mad about? I need to do the double specialization of this. right. I'm happy with that progress. All right, but I think I'm gonna end the stream here. I am getting kind of tired and also hungry. So yeah, I made some good progress. Hopefully I can figure out the internet problems for next stream, because I didn't want to have to kill the quality so much. So I'll figure that out. But yeah, thanks everyone for stopping by. Hopefully I'll stream again soon. See you guys.